We should start. Welcome everybody to session 39 of Blood and Shackles. Last time, I don't like the eyebrows raised, Shackles. Last time, the party began by meeting up with an individual. People don't really have a name for him. Has a big drum set, lives in the valley. It's a bit of a strange fellow, but seemed nice enough to you as you spoke with him, and he to explain that he generally just helped
The
people.
barbarian.
The barbarian, exactly. And like often, might help people who found themselves in the Valley of the Ghost, trying to keep the ghost peaceful and to keep, as much calm as he could. But he also mentioned that it had been getting more agitated recently. And yes, he offered to help lead you to Cloud Spire, where you were heading to anyway. So you gratefully took up, the offer and set off together up to find the dwarven sky citadel. And yes, thankfully, with his presence, you seem undisturbed on the remaining of your travels up there. Just 2 or 3 more days before you first then saw the road kind of twisting up the mountain path leading to the top of this city built into the very crown of the mountain. And yes, you arrived there in the dark, but they seemed pleasant enough. The dwarves seemed welcoming and, let you in and gave you directions and seemed like very hospitable folk. And when you awoke, you saw really the scale of the place that you had found yourself in. The city is, huge and kind of built like almost inside, like almost carved out like the core of an apple. I can remind you by showing you this art, with these like kind of like buildings all built inside and going like deeper into the mountain itself. And also, you saw quite quickly, you learned that also the city had some sort of a connection to dragons, to cloud dragons specifically, as you saw there were like almost like spaces built up into the top where they could roost. And also you saw a lot of, dragon memorabilia around, like a giant bell in the center of the town, which, interested Crixel. In general, a very curious and interesting place. But
That damn bell.
Exactly, you were not here for simple sightseeing. You needed to try to find out where Vesh is headed to, being told that he had also seeked this place to find more about the temple you're searching for. And yes, you went to speak with these people known as Celestial Fellowship, which is a kind of a collection, an organization of like dwarven wizards and scholars and also like sages, all kind of like who dedicate their lives to like air magics. So like while you were there, you saw like big libraries, you saw like kind of warriors training with bows and like using the air to manipulate it. And yes, they also seemed very hospitable. And one of them offered to after you asked, and they explained that Vex had not Vex, sorry, Vesh had also been here and had been interested in finding out the location to this old ruin, which they then shared with you. They also shared a little bit of information about the fact that they indeed had actually been involved in sending out the dwarven party you had come across in the Valley of the Ghosts, the one that had been defeated by some spirit or foe, you imagine. And yes, they also asked, potentially if you would be willing to investigate yourself, and you said you would consider it perhaps after you had done your very time-critical mission with helping Vesh. Woo! Maybe too deep to recap. And then, you were like, but why would we travel on our feet? It's really boring down there. So many up and down. We're sailors.
Valleys.
We're not used to walking around. We're sailors. So let's see if we can find something to sail. So as you're like walking around, Crixel spied a shop specializing in the aerospace industry. That's what you could say. And, upon inquiring inside, it seemed that perhaps an airship wouldn't be the best option, but a curious invention known as a hot air balloon seemed more potentially up your street. And upon some convincing of Johnny that it would be fine, and that a little test drive where you went sailing around the mountain, you found yourselves to be the proud owners of a hot air balloon, believe it or not. And you've kitted yourself up with all the hot air balloon gear, the what's it called, the parachute cords, everything like this. It's to blame. Well, you hope not, Miho. You better hope not. It's made by Boeing, not Boeing. And then yes, you.
What was the spelling? I have to remember what the spelling is.
What, sorry. What, Boeing? That's not Boeing.
Yeah.
Yes, but then you, yeah. So after your test drive, you basically explain to the person that the shopkeeper would get it set up. So in the next morning, he would have it all like kitted out with all the everything needed to make it go and all that kind of stuff, and you could collect it then, and he would be able to like sail off from there as it like opened out into the back of the mountain. Yes, and I believe I'm like that happened, in time, we kind of floating around, you kind of doing a day of like shopping, of like selling, of buying, of exploring. So I'm just curious, was there anything else you wanted to do to kind of like that day before the following morning where you plan to meet up at the aerospace shop
I
again?
know people had an interest in seeing dragons. Did you guys want to go to the caves and like check them out?
Yeah, we can go. Yeah. So we need to
Or
make
did we
sure
want
that
to go
Yeah,
find
no,
Vesh first, and then we can explore the caves
Oh.
on our return visit?
there's a
If you think it
possibility
takes more than a
of,
day.
we
Yeah.
needing a little bit more urgency on the way back potentially, bro. You know.
I would be more
Seems
urgent
like-
on the way back than on the way there.
Well, it seems like we
But
always
if
find
he's
something
seriously
to be
hurt,
urgent
you know?
about.
Serious hurts needs immediate help. I don't know. I'm just saying.
I mean, I agree.
yeah,
Usually,
yeah.
usually our days are filled with urgency. Somehow,
Mm.
we'll find a way.
True. I guess
I'm
what
s-
would you rank as the most urgent item right now?
Well, we have to wait until tomorrow morning for the balloon.
True. True.
But if you think it takes more than a day, or if we might get eaten by a dragon, maybe not.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
I
think
have
it's more than
some.
a day, but the eating is definitely a possibility.
I mean, would Nate remember being eaten or what?
Would you remember being eaten?
I mean,
Good
because I was
question.
remade.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. You have like memories up
Right.
until your brain stopped functioning. So probably like the beginning of being eaten.
Oh yeah, the first couple bites.
Yeah, the first
before
couple
he
bites.
clamped down on your head.
Oh, with
Yeah.
the horrible screaming. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
this.
You try,
Nice.
you really don't
Yeah.
try to reminisce too much. But now you're like, do I remember the horrible torture and pain of being eaten alive? You're like, yeah, it comes back.
Turns out, doesn't leave you.
Yeah, it wasn't a fun experience, Nate.
So yeah, I guess Nate isn't the biggest fan of dragons.
Fair.
you could
But
say.
That was the
Yeah,
bad
that's
That
kind.
makes it great.
They say they eat birds around here, so slightly worried
Yeah,
on that
and then
front.
you're basically just a large chicken to a dragon, right?
Yes, they might roast me. I'm worried.
That does seem plausible. You can hide, right?
If
Maybe just
needed.
put on the big coat so you don't look like a bird.
How?
And then you can pretend to be a plague doctor, right? Because that's the mask.
Yes, pretend the dragon is sick. Smart. Go for inspection. Okay, I can go. They don't sound evil. They don't eat many dwarves, seems like.
If they were, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be worshiping them having them hang out up above them.
Hmm.
And
As
if
long as
were
they don't-
regularly eating people, most
Yeah.
most civilizations don't thrive in that scenario.
True. As long as they don't make me shave like they do the dwarves.
Hmm. Now, what did that even look like? I shudder.
I mean, you might think
I
I'm
mean,
scrawny, but I do have a lot of strength, so I'm bulky underneath.
The cursed image.
Mhm.
Okay.
Dude, wait, Tango shave? Now he's just talking out loud.
You Tengu shave. Have you ever seen
So-
Good
so
Sword
What should
Shave?
you shave?
You see my, like-
bro?
My
Or would you
mustache
just
coming
pluck?
in.
Plucking seems
Every so
cool.
often you gotta like pluck a little bit, right? Like it's like
Mm,
outcast like shit,
the-
you know?
Ruffles, feathers,
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I guess your legs don't get too feathery, right? You pluck some out.
Say aerodynamic, you gotta plug that leg. Like feathers. Sorry.
Well, when it's day night, I plug my feathers, my legs for sure.
When has it ever been date night for Quicksilver?
Oof. Oof. Harsh.
Sorry.
Yeah. More likely to be eaten by a dragon, I would say.
Yeah, they might appreciate the plucking.
Roasted.
They might
No,
appreciate
no, no roasting. No,
I'm
no
just saying,
roasting.
we have had a party member be eaten by a dragon. We have yet to see Crick look at the date.
Oof.
Oof.
Okay.
Fire damage. We don't like fire damage.
So you're no, like that. So you're interested in like seeing if you can get a bit closer to the dragons up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like you kind of like in general like ask around, you look around a little bit. So the way it seems mostly set up is yeah, I mean you've explored the town, you asked a bit about it. The Ares is like the name of like that kind of highest level that kind of built into it. And it is like all these like kind of open to the inside of the mountain where you can kind of like that's where you sort of like want to kind of like fly in and out. When you like ask people around you like if you can kind of like go see them and stuff like this, there's kind of like people look a little like like confused, and then when like push it further, they explain that like they aren't really just like just like
Tourist attraction?
attractions or like yeah exactly, and that like they say that like normally the only ones who like unless the dragon wants to see other people, the only ones who really meet with the dragon it's this organization called the Dragon Wardens, who kind of involved in like serving the dragons and like in terms of making sure they have like plenty of food, they like have a horse space for their horde, they treasure it. Occasionally they will also make like deals and agreements like if there's a threat to the Mbeke territory, maybe they don't like petition a younger dragon to like try to take care or patrol the skies. So they kind of explain like you can like get up to highest level, kind of look at areas like that. But if you want to get closer and like speak with a dragon or something crazy
It's
like
by
that,
invitation.
then you would or you need to petition the Dragon Wardens. Like if you had a good reason to see it, you could also try to speak to Dragon Wardens. And like they have kind of like a building that they run, and like you kind of find out that has like an entrance in that up to the Ares. But apart from that, the only way in is from like the sky kind of thing, right? Like the dragons get in, but the only way up for like kind of people is like through like a path built into the mountain. Yeah. So one thing you might
We have a
like-
balloon. We could.
yeah, you could do that if you want to get a close look yourself. You could
want
like
to,
go
but,
down with the balloon inside
We don't-
and
yeah,
like
that's the whole
be like,
reason we're
get
here,
the
is
camera
waiting
out
in
of
the
the
balloon.
zoo and be like
Nate
Uh,
is rooting against it.
reading against it.
Voting against it.
One thing that you might be interesting is like as you ask around dragons, particularly maybe you're just like curious. They mentioned there is like you might find there's like one dragon in particular who like they say like they like point out that if you're interested in seeing one, like they normally hang out like at this side of the areas and you should better see it from up top. A dragon by the name of Saikureirot.
You got
Who is like they explain it's like the yeah I'll take it out. They explain like it's the kind of matriarch of like the kind of cloud dragon in general in the Toa plans. Yes, let me just type that. And like if like maybe the person you're talking to like you kind of like Ray. So Jackie, you going?
Crooks is kind of like Peace Gunner, Pathfinder. Could become Dragon Warden.
Mm-hmm. Are you saying this to a dwarf in particular or to like the others?
Not to the others.
To the others. The others ignore
Pretty
you,
disrespectful,
so
I would say. Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just like
I
how
mean,
dare you
well,
even
I mean,
suggest it.
Let's see. We've had a couple of our party join random organizations. Who wants to join the Dragon Wardens?
I wonder.
It's pretty cool.
Dragons
Yeah.
use fire. Fire's,
You
Well,
haven't seen much fire in this area from the dragon. You saw a lot of air magic, but yeah, fire. Dragons must be fire. That's the only thing that makes sense. Out of interest, when they point out like this, or someone mentions this like one dragon, they kind of point out like kind of like the biggest kind of hole in the Ares, that is what's it called? It's like very large compared to the others, and they kind of like mention that that's normally where they stay, and you can kind of like when you like get pointed out of it, you can actually see that like not like leaning out the front like you saw one earlier, but you do see like this kind of maybe you didn't even really notice it because of how large you were before, and it's like kind of the backwards turn to it. But like now it's been pointed out, it's like this, like gargantuan, like like bluish frame, that's like got the back facing you, so it almost just look like a wall to the cave at first glance. But now they pointed out, you can see it, and it's clearly a very large creature.
I figured out these guys are cloud dragons, right? So do we
Yes,
know
exactly.
what they breathe? Do we know
Yeah,
that part as well?
you've had enough, like, from like going to Celestial
Lightning?
Fellowship and seeing like the people who are like talking about the air magic and what you know about cloud dragons. You piece it together that cloud dragons. I
They
think
just
they
breathe very
just.
hard.
I can see. Let me. Actually, that's a good question. Maybe technically, I think they might breathe electricity. Yeah,
That
electricity
makes sense.
damage. Yes, electricity damage. Yeah, so they can like shock the air that they send out from their mouth. Yes.
Johnny, electricity, fine, right?
It's just this fun. That's fine. This is
He's
cool.
seen Johnny do a lightning bolt or
It's
two in
a
his time.
storm, you know.
Yes. I'm not saying you're a hypocrite, but does set stuff on fire.
Ooh, no, let's not go there.
Anyway,
So you don't want to meet those on the seas, aye?
or
I
most
guess
places.
it depends on the situation, right? In an
Yeah.
adversarial role,
Yeah.
no, thank you. But I mean, now it
Yeah.
would be no different than me here wanting that same.
Mhm.
Maybe we
If they
shouldn't
can,
fly near them with our air balloon.
if they can guide the weather, maybe they can help us in our travel.
Yeah. You think if it had the reason to help you, they could probably make the wind blow real fast in your direction.
In terms of the size of the dragons, are they mostly like young
Most of the ones
to
you see,
middle-aged
yeah, so
dragons in
you don't see
size?
huge number.
Not
Yeah,
like
so most of them
ancients?
actually seem quite young. Again, like if you want to ask more questions, like for sure you can ask more about like what dragons can be. But most you see seem to be quite young. We're talking like I guess in terms of like size and everything, they would be like just like kind of large creatures, maybe like body like similar to a large horse, but obviously when the wings unfold, they're much bigger in terms of wingspan. But then the only one you see some like various sizes, but all quite young, and then you do see this one that pointed out, which looks like like gargantuan compared to the others. It's almost like that's why when you first like didn't really notice it when it was like cooled up in his cave, because it did seem kind of too it looks so different to the others. But indeed, it seems they're quite young. And even like, when you're out there and you're like walking out the day and like talking to people, you see like so a couple of the young ones, sometimes they almost like kind of a bit playful, like flying above the what's it called? Above the keep, not the keep, sorry, the cloud spire, the central area.
Yeah, and when nobody's really extremely for going, right? Obviously not right now. So
I mean, we don't really. We'd have to do the what? Ask
either we visit the Dragon
the
Wardens,
elders of the internet, or
or
whatever.
we climb the mountain ourselves. That seems like a
That would be an
unwise
option,
choice.
yes. You could, instead of asking dry wards, you could try to climb up the mountain and like kind of pop your head in, to like one of the little areas.
Yeah, so let's surprise the ancient beasts
They don't have many surprises, I'm sure.
with a free dinner. Shoot towards Crystal again.
Okay, so want to go talk to the Dragon Wardens or no?
We can. Is there more we want to know? Or is it just to see the chance to talk to a dragon? Because I'm still in favor.
Yes, not my thing, but we'll join you.
I mean, are these friendly or what?
They appear friendly.
Strangers?
Dragon Wardens seem to be kind of the liaisons between the rest of the city and travelers and the dragons themselves.
And ask them if they are friendly or if they require sacrifices.
I'd rather stay away.
That's fair. Yeah, again, I'm in no rush. We will be back at some point, right? And maybe it'll be after we've solved some grand problem for the city, and therefore we will earn the right to meet the dragons on better terms.
Not unlikely, but maybe if we clear the Valley of Ghosts, they would appreciate it.
Mhm.
Okay, so another day.
Yes. But now we got to do the the traveling and like vacationer thing. You would just, oh look, and point at stuff, and then you leave.
The classic little day out on the town. Okay, yeah. So you spend
Maybe get
like
an early dinner, get some rest, and then start early tomorrow with our new hot air balloon. Nice.
Yes, with first light.
very good, very good. Yeah. So you
See
are
the
spending
sunrise
days.
in the air balloon. Let's go.
Oh,
Okay,
that'd
sorry.
be pretty nice. No, just in case you are still like spending a bit of time exploring the town. So maybe just like mention a few different locations here that maybe you can bear in mind if you ever come back. It's just you do like some tours, some one around. So the most famous kind of places, of course, the areas which you've seen before. Another building you may have passed, well, you almost certainly would have passed as you been wandering around, is this great amphitheater known as the Assembly of Kings, which is kind of like it's a place you get told where all like the kind of Mbeke rulers kind of gather to discuss and debate and to elect a high king such as this. You get told the size is so high because occasionally dragons actually join the Assembly of Kings, and in fact, it's within any dragon's right to make an appearance. Like no matter how young, they are all able to give voice in the assembly. Yeah, and it's also it's just a great thing. It's actually decorated all over with these stone masks, kind of shaped by all dwarven features that you get told are known as the death masks of all the previous high kings over the years.
Do they sell like copies of it?
Yeah. There's a souvenir shop right outside where you can buy all the overpriced stuff. You want a dwarven death mask?
Yeah, please.
Yeah,
is it overpriced?
No, I mean, a little weird,
but for you,
if you tried to wear it, it would be out here.
For you, it doesn't really work, right? But you can buy it. I mean, it was overpriced, but for normal people, it's it's 2 silver. It's a bit of stone, made simply carved.
Okay, 2 silver. I'll take it. Anybody else in? Dwarven death mask.
Dwarven.
Oh, you want a souvenir to show back home?
I mean, yeah, but you're buying a souvenir the first place you went to. That's crazy.
Yeah.
One of many places.
Okay, and then what else? It's interesting. Oh wait, what? My PDF just crashed. 1 second.
Right.
it just said Fox TV crashed. Sorry. Of course, there's the big old dragon bell, which you've already seen. You can also find miniature dragon bells around quick, so if you want to buy one of those as well.
I want to make one myself.
Okay, that's fair. You didn't want to make your own death mask?
Crazy.
Dragon Bell, the Celestial Flesh you've been to. The Hall of Bells is kind of you would have been there. That's just the name of the mid-level passages where all the forges are. It's named that because there's almost a constant ring of hammer upon metal. And you've kind of already been there. And then there's this old kind of palace called Kobe's Hall, which is where traditionally the high kings of Cloudsphere kind of ruled the palace, and it's kind of halfway up, beautifully decorated, and has the kind of dwarven architecture and riches all through it. And that actually the stories go that it was technically all the successors of the High Kings lived there, but eventually it grew a reputation as kind of a curse and a what's it called, kind of haunted place. One of the old High Kings actually turned into a bit of a tyrant, and there was kind of a war, a civil war in Mbeke, or in Cloudspire. And when the king died, this place kind of got this whole bad reputation. And the final place you might be interested in is, and you might even see a couple of people doing this, is at the bottom, you get told, you kind of look down, you can't really see it, right at the base of the hollow is a kind of big, deep, kind of midnight blue pool that you can just about see, which is almost you get told it's unfathomably deep. But it is a kind of sacred place where there's a temple of a Torag, one of the chief dwarven gods. But this is actually most prominent because it's where the kind of tradition of putting, when someone dies, of doing that thing where you throw a stone into the water, which you remembered previous about in Mbeke. You find out that this is where it kind of started, where they would actually toss things into the wellspring, is the name of it. And you see a couple of people doing that during the day when you go there, with a sad
Yes. Because as we're standing there, I'll lean into Johnny and be like, "Think they'll mind if we take a swim?"
Probably.
It looks, from what you hear, it would be a diving platform of hundreds and hundreds of meters. It'd be really impressive,
Exciting.
Then Johnny jumps in after having said that. Right?
After you have a chat, by the way, about this, but Johnny says it might be a bad idea. You chatting some people about it. They also mentioned that by ancient law, befalling in the pool is a crime, just shy of murder, and is very, very heavily enforced.
Later day.
But jumping in isn't so profound. But regardless, yes, sorry. Those were just some of the interesting sights you see during your day in Cloudspire.
Does it look like Cloudspire has? It feels really big. Like, are there enough dwarves to fill it up, or is it like seems pretty empty? Like residentially, like
no, it's pretty massive. It's pretty bustling. Like the markets have like a lot of goods. You also see like there's actually goods like also from like different places, like further into like the Morangi Expanse, and there's also some things up from north in like Avestan, seeing the name of the kingdom. So then it's it seems like there's a lot of people, not just dwarves. There's also like a decent amount of like Morangi natives. So it feels very occupied still, actually.
Okay.
Yes, but it's like I guess it feels filled in, but the buildings are like big. Like bigger than like dwarves would need, and so maybe that also makes it feel a little kind of like you're kind of the opposite of claustrophobic, I guess. Like you're standing in rooms that are too big for dwarves to fill.
Yeah. Just quickly like considering if also the reef could fit in here, and or like the people and stuff, and like the lizard clans.
Also, he's pretty small. Like you'd probably better find some. But dwarves are good. What's it called? The mountain's pretty big. You can always knock in a few more cabins in the back, right?
Right.
Dwarves pretty good at that. Okay, but yes, you have a pleasant day exploring this interesting ancient city, and then eventually you go down for another good night in the inn you were staying at. And yes, I guess technically it's like a little bit of money. Money.
I remember how much it was.
Oh my god! How do I still know after having to do it so many fucking times? It's like crazy that it's not just in my brain now. It's like, I mean, you might be at the level where it's not even worth doing, but you also pawn money.
Mm-hmm. Very.
Services, let me see. How come you don't know this? You're also a DM.
I don't remember anything.
Lodging,
But I guess
2 5
2
rooms, right?
silver.
Yeah.
8
5
silver per
silver.
room.
8
So,
silver.
so a couple of gold, will cover you for breakfast as well, and stuff like that. We can
Couple, so
Everyone.
2 or is that 3?
2 gold, so 2 gold for everyone for rooms and food. We can say it would be
Okay.
1 gold, 6 silver pieces for just the room, and then food and drink and everything else. Yeah,
All right, I'll just do 2 gold off my sheet then for everyone.
Cool.
very generous, very generous.
I think I took a lion's share of recent gold we found, so figured it's only right.
Now we're
okay.
even.
Now we're even. I took that last 100 gold like treasure. No, mate, it's in the stay.
This is all
Yeah, but I bought you breakfast.
I know that I got 150 gold for this thing, but I just paid for your breakfast.
That bit is on me. Classic. All right. Yes, and so you wanted to have a nice early start today, so you can try to see sunrise by balloon. That
Yeah.
sounds beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so,
Very romantic.
sunrise is about like 7:30 or something, so it's not crazy early. You have to get up. You have to get up at like seems a little late for sunrise, but well, who cares? Never ask me about it again. As you you wake up at like 6:30, check out, you're in, drop off your keys, and then head on down to what's it called? To the balloon shop. And the little surprise you get that early. The guy who's like, I'm just finishing touches. So, 1 second. He kind of like running around, like making sure he's got like the bag filled with sand and everything, and like double checking the cloth to make sure it's all in one piece and no dangerous rips or anything like that. But just after a couple more minutes, he's like, okay, yeah. I didn't have time to do my second double check, but I did a first check, so I think it's right as rain.
Yes,
How
confidence.
long would a second check be?
Maybe another half an hour.
I think it's worth it. Anyone else?
Well, half an hour is going to be pushing over the sunrise.
That's
You-
okay.
No, it is-
I'd rather survive and miss a sunrise.
Yeah, same.
You sure? Okay.
Surprised the shop is open so early.
Well, I knew you were setting off in the morning, so I was getting it ready before my shift really started.
Be pretty
Okay,
good.
one double check coming right up.
This guy's looking for a tip.
That actually does like if it deals in tipping culture, that it's just a failed culture in my opinion.
Yeah. No typical
Failed
Jedi.
civilization.
It's a fantasy world. It's not typical,
Everyone's fairly compensated.
Sure, yeah, that's how bad it is. Yeah. Yeah, so he does spend.
Maybe if we come back in one piece with the balloon intact, maybe.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy tipping before you like. It's like you don't tip before you eat the food. You tip after.
Yep.
Okay, so unless you do like fucking delivery, fucking bullshit. Okay. So yes, he does a double check then, and you fucking nerds, safety conscious people. During the double check, he like spends a little bit of time like hunched over part of like the copper material, but he just like it's like pulling a little bit, then he kind of mutters under his breath and like halfling and then steps back, and like smiles at you, and he says, "Yeah, looks good to me."
Can I insight check that shit?
Sure. Give me insight checks.
Anybody speak Gnomish?
Halfling.
Halfling.
And it's just a blind perception, right?
Yeah, blind perception.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, you think he's trustworthy actually. You think when he did volley checked it, you think he maybe just saw something that looked kind of wrong, but he did like a proper sort of like very official kind of pulled it to see if it broke and it didn't. So he was like, he's happy that's enough. Like whether or not you're happy that's enough, he's happy that that's enough.
Yes, because the gnome strength of pulling on fabric is equal to
like,
the amount of 5 individuals in it.
Well, he seems happy with it. That's all you can get with the
No,
inside.
it's
You
all
don't know if he's correct. But
So, how do we care for this thing then when we, after
yes.
we land and then
It's
we
a manual?
Owner's guide?
Exactly. He got himself hot air balloon guide. He's like, you kind of like skip to the page. You'll see here it talks about setting it down and packing up. If you need to take it, sorry, what?
A care and maintenance.
Exactly.
Where's warranty? I need the warranty.
You need to be very careful, particularly with the it's called the envelope. He kind of does like the bit that holds the air.
Yes, the letter.
Yes, this is
Hold
very
the air.
thin leather.
The balloon?
No, sorry. I made a joke because it's the envelope, and I said yes, the letter.
Oh, you said the leather.
Not leather. Letter.
Okay. He's like, no, well, sure, whatever you want to think about it. But if you want to try to carry this, I mean, it is heavy. If you want to take it up by land, I wouldn't recommend doing it too much far without a cart. The envelope can be folded down, and you should always do that, and then maybe wrap it in some sort of top, protect it a little bit from the elements, so on. That's all separately. And then the gondola, the bit that's underneath it, that's it's not quite as foldable as the envelope. So if you want to try to find a way to move that, you probably need to, he kind of tries to think. Normally we would put it just in a very large cart, but he kind of like looks at the 5U. But probably best, you should pack up the envelope so it doesn't get damaged, but probably just leave the gondola wherever you land and just, set off sail from there again.
Can fit 5 people, right?
Yep. It's 15 feet, it's like 15 feet square, like the size of like the actual
Okay,
gondola.
can Nate and I try and like go on either side and like lift to see how heavy it is?
Sure. Yeah.
See if like we could carry like sort of.
Like calculate the bulk of the fucking gondola. Yeah, I mean, what are you like carrying? Like, I'm guessing you drop off your you kind of like unsling your backpack so you can like have your. What is your both your two's like carrying capacity?
I've got 3 before I'm encumbered.
But like, if you like took off your backpack, you'd have more, right? But that's including on shit in your backpack. I'm just like curious, like what would be your max?
We'll just put the what are they called again? Not bag of holdings inside each other. It'll be fine.
I mean, if I'm not carrying anything, my max bulk is 14.
Okay, and
yeah,
Nate?
my max bulk is also 14.
Okay, then yeah, like with the two of you, like you think, if you go up to the boat and you kind of like try to like lift it before the balloon's inflated, like with you on either side, like you can do it. You would both be like, it might not even be the weight, but kind of like the ungainliness, right? That's also like affected by the bulk. It would be high enough that you couldn't, you would still be like encumbered, so you would be like that kind of minus 10 feet speed. But the two of you could move it. You wouldn't want to go great distance, but you could take it off your feet if you wanted to like hide it or put it somewhere else or stuff like that. It wouldn't be
That's
difficult.
Yeah, maybe we'll need to invent.
We have this other attachment.
ladder.
He kind of is like also quite popular to be bought with the balloon. Kind of like points
Wheels.
in the back room. You're an inventor yourself. You think outside the box. Indeed, wheels, but these ones are shaped very well to fit underneath your gondola, and then have the attachment to be pulled by horses or a cart. in a way, it turns it almost into a little carriage. You know, you can have people sit in it and everything.
One might start to wonder why we're not buying a cart.
Well, the cart's, it's much less fun than the balloon. Well, why have only a cart when you have a balloon that can be used as a cart?
How expensive? Or the attachment?
The wheel attachment, that's only 10 gold pieces.
Yeah, I'll take the money for that. I'll add 10 gold for the attachment.
Splendid deal. You get like two wheels with like bits of metal on them. Like there you are. They're like a little awkward, but they're like a bulk each, like the wheels. So like
Okay.
But those will fit inside a bag holding. They're not too big,
Yeah. Get that going. Okay.
Yeah, so those you can just like attach. We'll say like it's 10 minutes thing to kind of put them on, and then the gondola can be kind of pulled along like a wagon. Great. Any other attachments that I can get you to buy? Let me think.
Yes, please show all.
Show all. I
Some,
have had this new idea. Well,
a gun. Oh no, not
gondola.
that be
No,
cool.
I've been considering if there's a way to make it float so that it can then be, and the balloon could be transitioned into a sail, but I don't think we're quite there yet. But maybe the next time you visit, I'll sort of something along those lines.
Balloon.
For now, I think that's all you'll need.
Wheel.
Sure hope so.
Great,
Because it will
then-
sure as hell suck if we get up there and there's something else we needed.
No, don't be silly. Don't be silly. I'm sure. I mean, whatever you do, you'll better make a landing. So nothing.
Quality
Uh,
to be determined.
Yeah, you'll hit the land.
I mean, I guess that's something.
That's something. Okay, but
about the
oh,
about the
sorry?
grappling hook, right? It's just the hook, and then you tie rope to it. I guess.
So you're asking me, right? You're not asking him. Yeah,
Yeah.
grappling hook. Yeah, I think a grappling hook. I mean, I'm sure I can't remember exactly how it works in the rules, but I think it is just a rope with a hook. at the
How
end.
much rope do we have? Just in.
I don't know how much rope you have actually.
Oh,
How much rope do you have? Yeah.
50.
I don't have any.
I mean, I believe I have 50 feet, and we had another 50 feet somewhere else
Yeah,
on someone
because,
else at some point at least.
with a ship, you use an anchor to anchor the ship, of course, right? With a balloon, maybe, if we
That's what
can't land
the half
anywhere.
that pops up. That's normally what the water moves, right? The land doesn't normally do that.
Yeah, but what if there is no safe place to land and we need to, I don't know, spend the day somewhere?
Keep the fire
Oh.
active, but still explore.
Oh, you mean you want to keep
Like
the balloon,
grappling
or keep the
hook.
keys in the ignition, so to say, in case you need to make a fast getaway or something?
No,
Ignition.
just it's like grappling
That's
hook.
the
with
fire
rope and
ignites. He kind of mentions like that's how, the flame appears.
and
It's got that little lock there to like set it off. That's the key. So the key's in the ignition.
no, I was more thinking about
Oh,
staying in the air during the night. If,
Oh, you kind of
Oh,
thinks, people don't normally want to do that. It's a little close and personal, but if you're used to
I mean,
sharing
what
this-
if
sharing
there's
this,
there's something,
well, normally people take these balloons for leisure visits, sightseeing. Normally people aren't using them for, I guess, these kind of expeditions. But if that happened, yes, I would suggest at least one person would probably have to go down momentarily to secure a rope at the ground, and then maybe climb up the rope again to get back up to the balloon, would be my suggestion.
to
Well-
just use an anchor, like a ship,
Sure, yeah.
we'll improvise in this
Yeah,
case.
that's-
We're good
That's
at that.
how, that's what it's like right now. He kind of points and now it's like filling up with air, and it's like kind of anchored to the dock, right? With like a rope.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
I
what
think-
if you need to, stay off the ground due to safety reasons.
Yeah. Oh, but then you would have just a rope attached, right? You would go down. You would probably set the balloon down, tie it to some rope, and then get in, and then take it up again. to the length of the rope, and then the rope will keep it attached to the ground.
Yeah, but what if there are the ground is full of enemies that you don't want to
Mm,
go meet?
and then you kind of have to hope the wind stops moving. To be quite honest.
We'll cross that air when we get to it. Nate, I think we should leave.
Don't worry, the ground won't be full of enemies. It's not that bad. I mean, it's very dangerous, and I would have never go out myself. But the mountains aren't that bad. They're not full of the ground of enemies.
It's more the
Yeah.
dragons we need to worry about.
Oh, don't be silly. Then you'll want to be getting to the ground fast. You won't want to be staying in the air. But I don't think they would hurt a balloon. We have a good, rapport with the dragons. They might be a bit playful with you when you first get up there. Sometimes some of the younger ones find it fun to,
Eat.
no, not eat. They might,
Ease.
blow you off course a little bit. But they won't eat you. No, they won't eat you. Don't be silly. We have a wonderful rapport with the dragons. They won't seriously hurt you on
No,
purpose.
no inside check on that one out there.
Okay, give me the check.
Yeah. Hey, where'd it go?
He was very quick to remember to say on purpose at the end of the sentence.
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's no telling what they would do by accident?
I mean, you gotta. I mean, the dragons. A lot of them are young. They have fun, and they see a big, balloon flying up. So maybe they, they kind of know how it works. Maybe they give like a big puff of air, and you go flying along, at very great speeds. But I don't think that would. They don't often do it. A couple of them are a bit too playful.
I mean, let's just joke. How many times this year?
This year. This was only for us, so it is quite short. Only twice this year, and we've had about, well, not just balloon launch. We've had 8 launchings of various ones, and it's only been on 2 occasions the dragons have taken interest in it.
1/4.
But then no one died. No one died. They just, got blown off course a little bit.
I mean, that is good news that no one died. I
But-
mean, I won't lie.
But
No, but in other good news, the dragons also. I mean, the areas are dangerous, around uplands, but around Cloudspire they're so safe. But we have the dragons to protect us from other, aerial monsters. It's when you should be more scared when the dragons are no longer in view. That's when you got to worry about the other guys. But anyway,
Can I start climbing into the basket?
Yeah, he's like perfect. I'm glad to see one of you eager to go and not asking more questions about the dangers.
Come on, guys, we're missing the sunrise.
Exactly. Yeah, you can already see, it's not like halfway above the horizon.
before I change my mind about all this.
Okay, yeah, you all get up on the
Yep.
on the balloon, and the little halfling kind of starts unwrapping the rope, and he's like, "Are you ready?
Probably as we'll ever be.
Great, bon voyage!" He kind of calls out as a dwarven, as he unwraps the knot, and yeah, you start to slowly fly up. Of course, Nate, as a pilot, under your control. I'm guessing you're going for a nice smooth rise to start with. You're not really pushing it too hard.
No, it's
And he-
pedal to the metal immediately.
You turn up the gas to 100%, like the fire. No, you have a very smooth, and again that very kind of calming feeling of just kind of going upwards without any sort of engine underneath your feet or anything like this. It is a very smooth and a tranquil rise up, and yeah, you quickly kind of ascend above the height of Cloudspire proper, and then you have that beautiful view of the uplands around you with the sun rising in the east. I'm really bad, I always forget, right? That's where the sun rises.
Yeah, land of the rising sun.
Oh wait, that's true. Yeah, so you see and when you're up here, it's completely open kind of blue sky. There's a couple of wispy bits of cloud, but very little. And yeah, you see it. You start to realize, man, you better practice suntan lotion as the sun rises above you, and it's beautiful view of the surrounding mountains. So, yeah, you are now in the air. What's that?
We level up.
Good one. Now let me roll. I mean, I said I said previously it's happened 1 out of 4 times. The dragons mess with you. I guess I got to roll 1d4 then.
Oh,
D4.
That's good.
No, it's a nice clear sky. You see a couple of dragons like below, kind of, like flying like just above Cloudspire. But as you pass like overhead, a couple like look up in interest, and kind of, but they don't get too close to you or like
Do a
start,
little wave.
just, you provoked them. I see. Yeah, you do a little
We were
wave.
looking
Like
for
one
this.
of them kind of like tosses back their head and like kind of breathes out, and there's like a little bit of like lightning crackling, like not in your direction, but just like almost like to acknowledge your presence.
Uh-huh.
And then you start to slowly but surely
Run!
make your way run. You start slowly but surely run. Now let me just look up the speed of whatever, because I've forgotten it.
Yeah,
Is Nate the captain of this balloon as well?
I mean, I imagine so, but if anyone's trying a mutiny, just let me know.
It
Or is-
is very tempting.
Give me
It's
that
an easy way to
balloon,
get rid of the old
I don't know if
captains,
a hot
all I'm
air balloon
saying.
is what I want to do a mutiny on. That's like a fucking dangerous mutiny thing. Okay. 20
One
feet
little push.
speed. It means miles per day is 16. And now you can fly like basically straight as an arrow. So you think maybe in like 1632? Yeah, so like in 2.5 days you think you'll be flying over the space that you have pointed out to. Yeah, okay, so yeah, a couple of days of travel commences. So let's do a little random encounter chance,
I mean, is Crixel visually interested in
Mutiny?
trying to pilot the balloon?
Well,
Like excited, jumping around, trying to.
I would definitely no. I definitely
Yeah,
respect
yeah.
your leadership. It's more like I'm just excited about like the intricacies of like the hot air balloon. So if you like delegate the work, I would be happy to take it. That kind of thing.
That's the your captaining right there.
Yeah.
Delegation.
And maybe Nate will like explain what he's doing, right? I mean,
It's that kind of it. You can help. I will
Yeah.
tell you what I am doing. That's the best way to
Yeah.
teach someone.
Alright.
Tell and you will listen.
But you realize you actually have to bag the wind right, so you're probably going a little bit faster than the 20 feet, which is normal from the hot
Yep.
air balloon, I realized. What is does it add
Yeah,
10
I
feet,
think
or
it
does
adds
add-
straight up. Let me just link it. Wind natural back.
20 feet? Wow. Okay, then it's really fast.
Yeah,
You're going at that speed?
so we could double the speed.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, then you're just gonna like basically just a bit over a day. So probably like you don't really want to do the hot air balloon at night. That seems a little crazy to you. So you still think you probably would like rest and set off again, but you'd be completely at the mercy of the wind. But you think like in a day and a half, you should definitely make it above that area then. Great. So then there's a chance for a little random encounter along the way. So let's have a D20 from someone. I'll do a D4 to see who it's from. Josh, give me a D20.
The pain is
Blind.
at stake here.
No, you can see, because you'll find out if it's random encounter.
Right in the middle. I like
Okay,
it.
right in the middle. No, you're okay. Because of like the increased travel time, there's like a little bit less of a chance actually. So there's because you're speeding through the high lines so fast, you're really for a hot air balloon, they're not really built for speed. You're a little worried sometimes, looking at the construction material, is it designed to have like a bag of wind propelling you behind, and it's not really shaped for that
The
kind
thing
of
keeps
maneuver.
ripping. I'm like taping it up.
Exactly. Oh, that's true. You were good at crafting. You were able to fix all the events. And yeah, exactly. In the evening, are you like setting it down on the ground to like sleep, like actually like making camp on the ground, or are you like trying to do Nate's like sleeping in there kind of thing, or like when the ground just looks like empty
Yeah, we'll land and
and properly take a nice
on the
camp.
ground.
Yeah. Get your feet on some solid ground for once. I'm
Yeah.
sure Johnny would have been annoyed if you were deciding to even sleep in the air. And he's in his arm.
I mean, we'll try to look for like a nice landing spot, and hopefully we can find some. That's not like
Yeah, I mean, it's only like one night you think you need where you're like kind of
Boring
like
wobble.
somewhere like around here, right? It's a little awkward because like a lot of times you're trying to go quite high. It's a little awkward finding like a space you can like land on where you're not having to go like high again. But luckily, hot air balloons can go up high pretty quickly, so it's not too big of a concern. The other thing is when you are starting to say up, you do see a couple of other like kind of smaller settlements, probably like easier to see from like the air, like kind of built into like some of the other mountains around. Like again, like they look kind of like dwarven to make, like not as anywhere close to the side of the cloud spire, and more like built into the side of the mountain rather than like from the like core in. But just so you know, there is like clearly other settlements of the dwarves as well as a cloud spire. It was just the by far the biggest.
No one has a looking glass, right, or something like that.
That's not true.
We had one on the ship. Yeah. Let's see. Is it still on the ship though?
It's the one thing you bring. It's a look.
Like,
Uh,
no, we wouldn't need that. This goes with the ship.
No, yeah, I
This
do.
goes
I
with
still have the
ship.
spyglass.
yeah. I mean, I guess you're doing your
Scouting probably
thing,
during the
right?
day and everything, right? You probably like
Yeah.
like on the ship.
not just like a ship. But yeah, exactly. When you're using like the spy, you're probably one who spots like these other like settlements built into the mountain, into a couple of other mountains. They look to you like you can just imagine very, very high. So like even with like the spyglass, you can't get much too much detail, but they look like they're inhabited. Just like you see little people like ants down there, going on their business. But yeah, just like small towns are probably like a few hundred. And yeah, you set down the evening of the 14th in like the location I've marked on the map, ready to. You probably even get a little bit closer, to be honest. Maybe like maybe you find somewhere in here you can set down. It's difficult, but you're an expert pilot, I'm sure, Nate.
Is
And,
he actually an expert?
No,
Not
really.
really.
Not really. He'll get there one day.
He claims to be.
One day, maybe, right?
One day, maybe. And in the morning again, you.
Practicing for it right now.
Yeah, exactly. He will be an expert by the end of this trip, as long as nothing happens along the way.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. And then, yes, in the morning you set out again, I'm assuming. And yeah, this time you are like already, very close to the area that were marked out. So, Nate, I'm guessing you're like taking the balloon a little bit lower so you can like do a little bit better job scouting to see if you can see this thing pointed out to you. I'm trying to remember, you have had it described a little bit to you, I believe, right? What it looks like? If so, what do you remember? Anyone remember anything? What are you looking for, guys? It'll be hard to find.
Let me check my
Oh,
notes.
I just messed my desk. I need to do.
You messed up in there. Okay, do I be nice?
Probably should be.
Yes, I can be nice. You remember it being described as some sort of ziggurat.
Oh, yeah.
Mm,
Yes.
Right.
So just kind of like more like kind of pyramidal shape with these kind of like flattish levels. Also heard it described as like kind of white, but with like the kind of red like veins running through marble. Is
Like
what
a
it was.
step pyramid. Only
Exactly,
a lot
like
of
a
steps.
step pyramid that was pointed out when you were in the Cloud Spire and they were finding this book of these horrible
Temple.
places.
Temple of the Ravenous Moon, something like that.
Temple of the Ravenous Moon, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and so then you kind of know what you are roughly looking for in the morning. So this day is kind of like a reconnaissance of like the hex, right? It's like hex-based map. You're trying to, you know pretty well the area, but it's not perfect. Like maps also like things change a little bit over time. So as you kind of go around, anyone who like wants to do can give me like perception checks to try to like search out this area as Nate is guiding you over the top of it to see if you can find what you were looking for.
Absolutely.
More perception.
Oh, shut
I'm Johnny, pretty perceptive as well. Huh?
Cat hair all over my screens.
Sorry, can you roll for me?
So me, okay. Ah, okay, and you got the spyglass as well. Pixel as well. Oh my god, you're all so good. What the fuck? Okay,
We are.
yeah, so it's because Nate is doing an excellent job piloting it, very steady, very not too high above the mountain, just skimming along, so you're getting a a good view of the surrounding as you pass. And indeed, it is quite early on in the morning, just about 11 a.m. Roughly when you're either just getting around this area, that indeed out here, I guess you would see it. Maybe Crix when you see it very similar time, but you can probably look at it in a bit more detail thanks to the spyglass. But Crix was also very got his beady little eyes on it, as you spot kind of hidden in like the shadow of this hill. This kind of ziggurat, which has been described to you. It is looking very old. So from your height, it's kind of covered with like trees in some place and kind of overshadowing it and like moss growing on the surface. So it's not as easy to see as you make it seem. Like you were very perceptive when you can imagine that somebody could have flown over and probably missed it if they weren't searching particularly for it. But luckily you are you know exactly what you're looking for. And yes, you kind of see it just like hidden away there, like in the shadow of a hill, looking for all intents and purposes fairly innocuous. You,
That was.
I mean,
That's-
yeah, go back and obviously let the crew know.
Well done.
you saw it about the
Well,
same
now
thing, so don't be too hard on yourself.
And I had the advantage of a spyglass, so
Yes.
Yeah, exactly right.
good job.
Nice,
Finally,
nice.
your eyes cut off.
Oh, wow.
Is there a landing spot nearby, or should we maybe land a bit further away from it?
Do you think he is inside still, or shall we scout around first?
Where it,
I mean,
this is kind of where it disappeared. We should probably be a little careful, maybe not go directly inside.
yeah.
Gotta
I
get
was
used to the
thinking
big, scary
maybe
temple.
Landing a bit away from, just in case. What do you guys think?
I think
That
getting a little bit
is-
closer where we could see if there's any movement, right?
Yeah,
Undead or otherwise within or around it would be good.
yeah. We'll like try to fly near and observe.
Okay. So yeah, you try to pilot the ship to like just maybe still fairly. I'm guessing you have a spyglass, but you kind of close above it. And yeah, you just want to kind of watch it for a certain period of time, see if he sees any sort of movement or activity or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And also, like, I mean, would we close enough to see like if there's any camps or anything like that? Like,
Yeah, probably
Fine.
if they weren't like hidden behind like trees or anything.
Yeah,
Yes, you
yeah,
think if there were any like kind of out, there's like it isn't like too foresty here. It's still kind of like plainsy mostly, and then with occasional like trees. And you think it would be difficult to hide like a camp large and just a tent or something like that. Any real sizable camp you think you would probably see unless it was very well hidden or by magic. Yeah, and then you spend a few hours, I don't know, a couple of hours, like scouting out over just to watch. Like how long we
I don't know if
probably
he.
not as long. Just
Okay, just a few minutes
a
even. I
quick,
wasn't really sure.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sure. Then yeah, so yeah, you kind of like skim around it for like maybe half an hour or something, just like going around a little bit different direction to see if you can get a sight on anything else in particular. No, you don't see any activity of any movement, any creature, any living, any animalistic, nothing like this that you can see. It is
Say
sorry, go on.
say he was here weeks ago. How do we find him? What do we do?
I mean, we
Search for
land
tracks
and
and clues.
then scout the area. Hope we can find something.
Search the grounds. Okay.
So it looks kind of like this shape.
Okay.
Okay. Little outhouse.
Sure.
Yeah,
okay,
so
what did you
if
want to do?
we land like I don't know a few
Land on top.
hundred feet away, or
Allowed on top. Now that's a bit of piloting check right there. Okay, a few hundred feet away, so still pretty close. Then, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, not too far away at all. Just
It's
a
not
few
like
hundred feet
there's
away
like a
from
huge amount of
this.
noise from a hot air balloon, right?
No,
So-
exactly. Yeah. It's a perfect. This is why
Spy
the SAS
mission.
use
Very
them,
good
right?
spy
For their
mission,
secret
yeah.
missions. Yeah. They're always using hot air balloons. Yes, you carefully descend. Cooling down the jet, so to say, and yeah, you make a nice smooth landing. Just a few hundred feet away from this thing, which is standing there ominous and I mean it's only really ominous because you've been pointed out. You've heard the names and like the stories, but you would imagine if you hadn't heard, you would sort of just like quite an old, in a way, beautiful building, like with this white marble and this red stone running through it.
and it wasn't just Vesh who thought this was the right temple of the Blood Moon, right? The Cloudspire also had information that it would probably be
Yeah,
other
so
around
he
here.
had come to Cloud Spire to like find out the location and see if it wasn't there, and had an old book on like history that had mentioned one of these temples in these lands, named as Ravenous Moon. Exactly, and this
Okay,
does
cool.
indeed fit the description with the colors of the marble and everything.
I hope he's outside. Considering
Mhm.
the stories, not much chance
I mean,
if we had him.
let's be honest though. The chances of him randomly getting lost just outside the Temple of Ravenous Moon is much less likely than getting, maybe trapped or captured inside the Temple of the Ravenous Moon.
Could be unlucky, maybe, if a tree fell on him.
That would be.
What a
I
way
mean,
to go.
he'd probably be dead then. Since we waited a few weeks before coming.
I hope your Survivor's Guild will.
Tough guy,
Sorry.
so I'm sure he could be fine, right?
He's more your friends than mine. He kicked my ass, remember?
But in a friendly way.
Yeah, it was somewhat accidental, but I still have the bruise.
No, mud can't help that.
Visit a healer, man.
Johnny's done the best he can, but the mud just can't go.
Brain bruise is hard to heal with mud.
I could kick your ass as well. We would still be friends, no?
I mean, you could try.
Mhm.
Wow. I mean, you can try.
But yes,
He's asking for
this is mostly a joke. I hope he is okay. And I would feel terrible if he was not.
Insight check.
Oh, deception check. Is deception pretty good? No.
I believe. I choose to believe.
You choose to believe exactly. Why? Don't always tell against your friends. Just hope that they're telling the truth, right? That's how I live my life.
Yeah, too real.
Okay, yeah, you've landed. It's quiet. It's about noon now.
We'll tie the balloon to.
If
big
anyone wants to roll any time, I
something.
actually kind of think it'd be funny. But
Wait, it could he be monk?
like, because right, you wouldn't necessarily be in like the 100% is it true or is it false, because it's probably in the middle. There's truth to
If
it.
it's in the middle.
Well, like, you would feel bad.
I mean, it
But
wouldn't be
also,
a
you
sense
know-
motive thing, but if you're actively lying,
Yeah.
then you roll against us, right?
That's true. You
Yeah,
would
yeah.
rule against
But
us, yeah.
it's not an active.
But
lie.
it's only no. But it's only such for lying, right? And if it's like hidden truths, then that's always sensible.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Yep.
But they choose not to. They choose to believe
Cool.
in you.
That's good.
Exactly. And so you want to tie up the balloon. So you're not like letting out the air, Miha. You want it to be like there in case you need to leave quickly.
Yeah.
I don't really know how that works with balloons. Can you leave it on standby? I realized I wasn't really sure after without
if you
anyone.
keep the fire going,
something,
but-
right?
You keep the
So
fire.
it-
Empty it. I mean, it
Have any of you been in a hot air
takes, like,
balloon?
a long time.
Yep.
I haven't been in
You
a
have,
balloon.
Tom?
No.
It's very
I have.
expensive.
Yeah. Is it,
Basically,
uh,
right. So, like, the whole idea is that you're constantly falling. That's the whole kind of point with it. And so you keep the hot air to keep it afloat
Yeah. Right.
over
So
time.
so we'd have to leave the fire on if you like
Yeah.
leaving it.
Well,
That sounds dangerous.
it'd be more of like it would slowly start to sink, and then eventually the balloon would tip over, and then it would
Yeah. Right.
fall, right?
Then
So,
the air
like,
would eventually
Yeah.
come out. Yeah. Okay. So so you're saying it would last a while, probably without needing to.
yeah,
like,
it probably could, but it's not like it would not honestly be hours, even. Like it'd be minutes at
Yeah,
most before
okay,
it would
exactly
have
right.
tipped over.
Yeah.
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 Hmm.
But if
It's
you
not like-
if you kept the fire lit, I guess then it would kind of keep itself kind of almost like.
Yeah, it would be much slower, right? But like the idea is you have to kind of stoke the flames consistently. It's why, like, if
Yeah.
you've seen the burners that they have, like they're kind of
Yeah. But what if we don't fix it in the on position? You know.
Yeah. Well, then it's gonna take off. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, but
right?
I think
Like,
we help's
there's a-
gonna like tie it up to something,
Difficult,
and then
yeah,
like
yeah.
and then just
So, okay.
keep
I think
fire
the best
going.
way would be if we have someone like remain inside of the balloon who can maintain it,
That would be the
and then
best.
the rest.
yeah. Ah, that's when we need.
We can have Cooper do that, you know.
Yeah.
Except
Yeah,
he's back
pull
in
him back.
town, getting reports on what the
Oh,
one
yeah,
lady is
yeah,
doing.
Yeah,
He didn't
next
come? Oh, yeah,
shift
of
and all
course,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, but hey, you think you should been here some time and haven't said anything? No, you didn't come. You made a mistake.
Yeah, that's very un-Cooper-like, but true.
We should have paid the halving. for
You would have
coming
done a
over.
lot of snide comments about going in the balloon, trust me. Okay, so but you do want to try to leave it there, Miha? It would be a little, like, I don't know.
No,
Like-
probably not then.
Okay, so yeah, you kind of you set it down and you kind of carefully let the air out like over the course of a few minutes.
Do you still
And
want to
then,
tie it
yeah.
up on the ground so nobody can get away with it easily? Nobody can seal our balloons.
Someone will have to cut that rope. Yeah, that's what a daring way to get out.
Mm,
Oh man.
maybe
Uh,
tied to multiple threes.
Exactly.
Which color is it? The balloon? Is it like I'm
You chose the color. You chose.
imagining a
I
red
think you
one.
chose. I think you chose the color. Did you want a red one?
No, but I'm imagining it.
Or what did you want? I
Red.
mean, you bought it,
90,
but
90
customer's choice, you know.
balloons.
What were you in the market for me?
Definitely a black balloon, right? Come on.
Black balloon. Now that's man. That's a
Black
special
and
balloon,
yellow.
man. Black and yellow.
Then we should be traveling
the
on that.
bumblebee.
Why are we a
The
bee? What the fuck?
bumblebee.
Just black. I think we didn't opt in for the racing stretch because that would have taken extra time. So
Oh
it's
my
a solid
God.
color.
Black and yellow striped balloon.
No,
no.
Black and yellow. Black and
I'm
yellow.
mostly joking about like just black balloons. I think it may have just been like what they had on hand, which is probably blue
Yeah.
based on the color scheme of.
Yeah, like a kind of light bluish, almost like it looks
Yeah.
almost
I
like
mean,
the
there's
almost
both
kind of blends in with the
black,
sky,
white,
you know,
right?
when you look at it.
Yep, sky and cloudy type of thing.
So,
yeah,
exactly.
perfect.
Okay, yeah.
I
So
mean-
regardless, you say.
Depends on what you want. For flying the day, you'll have a white one, right? And
Bluish.
for
You want two balloons now? Oh my God,
No.
that's picky.
no,
Right, I have to take my
black one
night
is
balloon
for
out on
night
this
off.
mission.
Oh, you don't
know, I have
know.
to
What
take
we
my
do
night
is-
balloon out.
We painted exactly one half of it is black and the other half
And then you do
is
some
like that
crazy
sky blue.
maneuvers to like
Exactly. Then we can like
turn.
turn it towards
Well,
Reverse
wait, we could just have turned it inside out,
right?
right? Yeah.
You could have reversible
yeah.
colors, like a reversible. Okay, yes. Man, that's why the halfling was working the night shift. I had to fucking paint the inside of your balloon. Oh my God.
We're not Black Ops in this show. We don't need a night balloon. It's fine.
You don't need a night balloon. You can only get the night balloon on the way back. Okay, you set
It's
down
just
the
a light
balloon.
blue. It's great.
Let out the air, so it is. Yeah, we'll take a few minutes again to set
It's
up.
the balloon of many colors.
It's a balloon of many.
Mm.
Exactly.
Could we-
so it-
If we're trying to have a blend in the air, could we have like a Bob Ross painting on there? Like, little clouds
I
here and
mean,
there. you know?
you've got the paintbrushes, right? Okay, let's get that.
Yeah.
We could just paint on top of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that then it
Really
might be
make it
hard
ours.
to avoid little accidents on the way.
I got updated every time we pass by like a cloud range.
You just constantly have Kirk Slat there painting it as the scenery changes.
Oh,
Yeah. Alright.
Cartoon.
okay.
It's a real-
Okay, you set
Land
up the
the balloon.
balloon. You land the balloon. Deflate it. Okay, yeah. Now you're just a few hundred feet away, where you can see the ziggurat in the distance. What is your plans?
We scout the area.
You scout the area.
Because yeah, we're doing like a circle around, right? Like yeah. Just like for any sign of like
Like
footprints or
especially
like
near-
broken
near the
twigs or
entrance.
I let
Yeah,
them go
I'm
one
s-
direction and I go the opposite, and we meet on the other side.
Oh, and you're gonna like sneak attack them, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone, give me perception checks as you're searching out this area for
time
any
has come.
signs of anything.
really took a duel personally. Okay. Survival.
Johnny, you oh, yeah, he's gone. He didn't find anything, so it's fine.
He's back.
I didn't find. Oh.
You suck.
Yeah, you guys, you were liking the aerial view. It's a lot harder to see things clearly when you're so close to another person would have. It's much clearer
See,
when
we
you got
knew
the
it.
wide.
We
eye
knew Johnny was
approach.
gonna love it after time.
Exactly, Johnny loved it. He's just looking up at the sky like, why can't I go back? That's all he sees. No.
He's like, I know that my whole life has been this ocean thing, but sky's where it's at.
Yeah. Okay. How close are you kind of getting to the ziggurat? You're still staying like a few hundred feet away, or you do get close, or what?
I mean, how close is the tree line to it?
It's not even like constant trees, really. Like you're still at the
Okay.
bit where there's like
Where it
scattered
hills.
trees every so often, and like rolling hills.
Sure.
Yeah. So like you, the size of the balloon and like the many of you think it's like you couldn't get much closer to like 200 feet without being quite easily seen if
Okay.
someone
Do
was-
we want to do
Probably
like an
around that.
entire circle around, like yeah, like the trees and then the hills as well, like around, like
I thought so. Yes. But,
Yeah. To a degree, I think we're
Okay.
kind
I
of.
mean, you're only a few hundred feet right circle, so it's not like that far. Like if you're going like
Yeah.
that distance, right? It doesn't. It should take like.
We're not talking
couple
about
rounds
like
or
an
something.
absolutely gigantic building, right?
No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I think
maybe
the
if
building
like
itself, the size is I think like I mean I've made it. Let me check the size. It's like a square base with sides that are about 120 feet long in each direction.
Okay.
Okay.
Decent
it's,
size, but not.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just it's like would have been an impressive temple for sure. Like it isn't like a small
Yeah.
one, but it isn't a city. Okay.
And
Yeah,
then
so
if you don't
as
find any like
go-
like signs or oh sorry, you wanna okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't say so. Yeah, so you do in fact, despite Crixel and Joy not being on their best scouting behavior, out there as you go around, in the other side, you actually see not that far. Well, actually, I guess I don't even know what side you landed on, but kind of like in the direction of the southwest, so kind of in the direction of like the mountain range back there. Like if you were heading back to Cloud Spire, you do see a few hundred feet away as you like scan the area, the remnants of like at some point. It's you don't think it was like. It's very hard to know exact time. It's not warm or anything crazy like that. But what at some point would have been like a small sort of fire. You can kind of see. Like you can kind of see the ground is like kind of like got like a circle of stones around it, right? Where you would like put the fire in the middle and like kind of like some ash like in the center. It's very hard to get like a sense of time really because this is like too cold to be in like the recent couple of days. I mean, like it and then beyond that, like it's enough here that you don't see it's been like 2 months and months, but it could be a few weeks or something like that certainly, or maybe even
Somewhere
longer.
within like more than a couple days, less than a couple months.
Yeah, probably less than a couple months. You would imagine so for sure. Yeah.
Any signs of activity like footprints coming in or out?
Yeah, unfortunately, you think based on the age of this, that probably would have been lost by the time. You think there's been too much like weather, like rain and storms to do that. You can kind of just see this like little stone circle still standing with the ash, which seems to have survived.
Yep.
But even like the rest of the area around that, you would imagine probably there'd be people like sitting in the grass and like maybe set up a tent or something. But you don't see any signs of that either. It's just kind of like the old flame circle.
The fire pit's just left.
Exactly. Except for that, Nate, as you're going around the other side, however, and you're kind of like going a little bit of another direction, you do see actually a track of what looks more like footprints, but going in the different direction, kind of heading from the east into like the more heavily kind of like forest. And then you can see the kind of track. It seems to be. Sorry.
From the east or towards east?
Give me a survival check as you're trying to like decipher them a bit more.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, you take a closer look. You kind of like hunker down a little bit. You think actually, they are going like more recently. There's ones heading from like the forest in the direction of the ziggurat, but you see when you get closer, there are also ones heading in the other direction, so leaving the ziggurat. But they're like older. But it seems like technically there were ones going in both ways. And
This is Nate with us, right? With me and John.
is it Nate with us? Yeah, I think who spots this. Yeah.
What do you think?
Someone is entered the cigarette and then left, I guess. Is there how many footprints is there? It could be like a repeated activity. This
More than
back
one.
and forth.
Yeah, you kind of look over the area a little bit more. Yeah, it certainly was not easy to see, and it's only because you're like quite a expert tracker that you can really see. It seems enough that it's almost made. A path would be too strong a word for most people, but you can see like the signs of like probably multiple travelers over or like creatures or whatever like over the course of like days or weeks, right? But very inoften, so not like beaten enough to be like commonly used, but at least a path that has been trod many times over time.
Yeah, but I can discern if there's like different footprints. I guess.
All of the footprints look humanoid, and you can see like not enough to see more there. Like kind of like 2 feet, similar in a size to like a human. But no, it's too difficult to you to see if it's one creature going back many times or if it many creatures going back once or twice. That's too difficult.
Okay, so looks like someone or multiple persons were entering the ziggurat from the forest and been doing that for a while. So I mean, I'd say it's likely that our friend Vesh is camped somewhere in the forest, or was at least in the past, and was exploring the ziggurat and coming back to the camp after some exploring. So I think for us, what we can do is follow the footprints in either direction, try to find his camp or try to find I mean, I think it's safer if we try to find the camp first.
Yes, away from Ziggurat, if it can be avoided.
Yeah.
Do we wait
You
for
kind of
out
wait
there?
till you. Oh, sorry. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm guessing at some point we meet back up.
Yeah, let's say we're not waiting for Altair, we're just going off.
We're waiting
Yeah,
for
do
out there.
you finish like your circle, or yeah, you kind of wait for Altair to make it to you, I guess.
I mean, I guess we can finish the circle.
Yeah, and always make your way back. Yeah, so you kind of meet up on like the hill, kind of overlooking the ziggurat, kind of behind it, and yeah.
Yeah, and exchange notes.
Yeah. So yeah, Altair I guess shares his findings as well.
Does it? Is it possible that the tracks lead to the camp you found?
No, when Altair like pointed out where he saw his, it was almost in like the other direction, really, of where you saw the path leading.
So, 2 parties.
Yes. If I was
Strange.
to hazard a guess, right, it would make the most sense if there's been travel maybe from the east back and forth to the ziggurat, and then the camp thing that I found was coming from the west, which would probably more likely be, who we're looking for.
I mean, we should likely check both, right?
Yes, makes sense. So, follow trail.
Well, so you're saying we could follow the trail away from the ziggurat, or we could go into the ziggurat first, since we're here.
Yeah.
Yes, we
I
can.
I think it's safer to find more first, and then.
Right, but
I
what if
mean,
he's inside?
It would have been
I
inside
mean,
this entire time.
it
Right.
would be easier probably to find the camp and find him than to explore the whole temple, searching for him. Right.
Or we
It's
split
where
up.
do we think he is most likely to be?
What if 2 of us go into the woods and 2 of us go into the temple?
I don't know why, but I have this old saying in my head about don't split the party.
What a nice
Especially
play.
going into
Yeah, maybe an
Temple
old
with,
family saying. I don't know.
with a name like that.
I've not been to many parties. Don't know.
I mean,
I think we should stick together. It's just more of where do we think
Yeah.
we're most likely to find him, right? If he went missing, coming to explore this area, did he found it fucked off and it's never reported, and therefore he's off to the east here? Follow this path, right? Like the things he found, or is it most likely he was captured or stuck inside?
let's just check the camp. I think we can check the camp much faster than we can check the ziggurat.
Which camp?
I mean the tracks leading to up.
That's the
Probable
problem. We
camp
don't know
site.
where it goes.
Oh, you think it could lead
So
to?
we could be going miles, right,
Hey.
away.
Okay. I mean, how far could reasonably? How far would you reasonably camp away from the ziggurat?
We'd follow it
If you're
for
traveling
about
10
half an
minutes
hour,
walk.
so that we only spent an hour total.
Yeah, that'd be willing to do
Yeah.
is follow it for a half an hour. But
Yeah,
if it's further out than that, then it's most likely
yeah, we
that
couldn't. No,
there wouldn't be a close one because you would just camp in the ziggurat if you were regularly going back and forth.
yeah, but would you want to camp inside there?
Again,
I mean,
that's where
does it look
I
nefarious?
don't think it's
outside?
vacant.
Out there, I do think you're right. If he is anywhere, it is there. I can like meekly point towards the cigarette.
Probably, bros.
I mean, Johnny, what do you think? I mean, I'd rather check
Yeah.
the camp first, but I think that the others are more for the ziggurat.
By the way,
So
What does this like? I know we know the
mean-
shape and stuff, but like, is it just typical stone-ish gray color?
The
Oh,
shitty
oh.
map you're gonna see from me will be eventually because I can
Okay.
color right. But the actual color is like looks like some sort of probably some sort of white kind of marbly looking thing actually with this kind of like red veins running through it.
Oh, not creepy at all.
Not creepy at all.
Like
Pretty
veins, as in like human veins, or as in like
I mean,
all
like you know
veins?
how like veins or like of gems
Within
and stuff go through
stone.
stone and
Yeah.
everything, right? Like that. But you know, looks kind of color of blood.
Mhm.
Suspicious. If we get, if we go to the camp, I get some hints to exactly what we went. We can just go to the ziggurat, which makes the most sense.
Well, you see-
Sure, you know,
He is
We-
a
we-
Pathfinder, so if we find
took
his camp
us-
and we find his notes, maybe.
it took us this long, you know, from since he was missing to get here. Might as well take all the time we can.
Yes, I like
12
that.
hours isn't gonna change his fate.
Well, that's where I kind of disagree, right? It's
I
we're
mean,
we're in a bit of a Schrodinger's cat situation, if you've ever heard the analogy before. We don't know if he is alive, right, and safe or dead. But the fact is, the longer we go before finding that out, the more likely that the answer will be he is dead. And wouldn't it feel extra shitty if we took this time, like 2 weeks plus, to get to him, and then took an extra 2 hours, and it was that 2 hours that did it?
I would do that now, would I?
I wanted to leave immediately.
I totally put it to TM.
That would feel very,
he was missing for
very
months.
coincidental.
Maybe I
bro.
said weeks ago, you know, when
Yeah. Yep, he had a time like in and out, it's like looking at the watch and seconds to go.
It was not
But-
my
but
decision
again,
to wait
maybe it's
weeks.
like, what if our presence was found, and that's what sets off the events? Not saying that will happen, just saying that it could. We should take the most likely course of action
I don't think our
that will lead to us finding him, no matter what
I
the
mean,
situation is.
sure, but you know,
But you
pretty
thought
sure.
half an
Then
hour was
what if
okay?
Something, you know, but you know, you have to look at it from the other side. What if he isn't in the ziggurat yet?
Right.
What if from the camp, you know, to the forest in the morning, fell into a creek, and is now in some underground cave?
Right, but if we know he left from Port Peril to come here to explore it, why would he keep going east?
What do you mean? Wait, what?
it's
I mean,
where he
maybe he-
feels safe.
He
Port
did want
Peril is to the
spend
west.
the night inside the cursed temple.
Right, but if you were not
Yeah.
going to, and I agree, I don't know if you would camp in there on purpose, right? But if you're going to camp outside the temple, wouldn't you camp closer to where you need to go back to or came from than
Not the F-
further
no-
away?
Not if he has reason
Well,
to
you
believe
know.
that he has to be further.
Or you know, to dissuade
Maybe-
or
Maybe
someone
the
else,
camp
or
behind those
what's the word?
over there.
It would be very
No.
embarrassing if he's resting right now and we head inside the temple and he has to come save us.
That would be very funny, actually. But I mean, again, I'm willing to travel for up to 30 minutes following that path.
You
I
think that is-
It seemed well enough
minutes.
traveled that it looks like it's more than one person was doing it. And to our knowledge, he came alone.
Yeah, but he was here for months already. If he's still alive,
Right.
if he walks every day,
It would be less
Then-
than half an hour, no? So we would find him
yeah,
within that.
yeah, I'd imagine it's like 5 minutes or something. So they
Okay, so
can-
let's take
if,
that
like,
time.
there is a
At
camp.
If it takes, that's why I'm saying, if it takes us 30 minutes and we still haven't found a camp, you can see
Yeah,
different groups than him.
we should turn before.
Yeah.
Before 30
Yes.
minutes, like 15 max.
Are we in agreement then? Up to 30 minutes following the path.
Depending on what we find on the way, yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's the up to. We can change our minds if we find something before 30 minutes.
Yeah, but what if we change our minds and we have to go further? No, okay, let's just go, let's just go.
And further, and further.
Until
Okay,
that cloud's fire.
Yeah, so you. Yeah, wait, no, it's the opposite direction. It's not
Oh.
the direction the clouds fly. So you.
The back is also
Yeah, that's to the east. Okay, yes, you start. You circle back. Oh,
Oh,
goodbye,
Tom.
Tommy
That's
boy.
Tom.
Yeah,
Hello, Tommy boy.
he's back. Okay, yes,
Yeah.
you go round where you saw this
Restart
entrance.
itself, I don't know, happens occasionally.
Weird. You go back to the area where it you saw these tracks that Nate found, and you begin heading, following to the west, as east. With them, west, yeah, you go into Ziggurat, no, east. You quite quickly, the forest line is, as far back as this, it's not like you don't see the full forest like on the map that quickly, but like the forest, you start to see more trees, and the ground starts to become a bit more wood-like rather than these kind of like desolate plains. But indeed, you do head on for 30 minutes, and you do not see a camp, I'm afraid to say.
Okay, so that was a false alarm then.
Do we, if we're following this trail for a while, do we get any sense that the travel here has been in a rush, or like, because there's a difference if like people like just walking, even if you
Yeah.
can't get too many details, or if they're like in a panic or whatever.
If you want to, you can give me more survival checks.
Okay. I got a train for a reason, I guess.
And I probably have nothing. I'm trained as well.
You're a rouge. You've got everything.
Just about, yeah. Yeah, except for
God.
most of the things that
Nate.
you'd want to identify
When did
items.
Nate become like the world's best tracker? What happened? I mean, out there, it's
He's got new eyes and everything.
my God,
Yeah,
yeah.
I have experts in.
Yeah, but why are you also good at it then? Okay, yes. Nate, you found it originally, now you get a closer look as you see it following in the woods. Again, it's like, it's not enough to say, like this is something used by like, hundreds of people or something like this, right? That is, being like cut out into the woods. But certainly there is a path that you can kind of make out, faintly. Outtech can do the same, and you're trying to see if, Chris is asking, like, are there people in a rush? That's kind of difficult. If they were in a rush, they were very good at sticking to a trail. We'll put it that way. It isn't like, sort of like chaotic movement across the ground. It kind of like, as points kind of goes off the main trail. It is much more like this is just like, a kind of straight-ish path. Like, it doesn't seem to be desperately made or anything like that. And none of the more recent tracks you see have like the you can see like a few more recent sets, and then kind of like it goes into like the kind of form of a path. And the more recent ones, no, that seems to again be quite almost methodical, I guess, or just like tramped into the ground. Nothing. The notes emergency.
Okay, so guys, after half an hour, everyone's internal timer goes off. Like,
Ding, ding, ding. My iPhone. I check my iPhone. Wait, alarm off. Put it down again. Yeah.
slumber. Yeah.
It is at this point. Yeah, it is. Yeah, now quite wooded as well. So, there's here would be quite easy to make like a camp that was like more hidden from the ziggurat, right? Here you could easily fest and everything. So in your head, you also like if it was him camping further out, there wouldn't be much to gain from going further. If you see what I mean, you could easily be hidden from the ziggurat at this point.
And sorry, what
Yeah.
time of day was it right now?
At this point, after you walked around and then you went
High
this.
noon. Wait.
It's about 2:40.
Yeah.
About pretty accurately around 2:40.
Yeah, this seems like a good place to camp, but
Let's set
I
off.
guess no
Hey,
camp
we
That's-
can
here,
come back
so-
tonight. We still have
Let's
a
take a
day
day,
ahead of
guys.
us.
Let's take a day.
But let's.
I
turn
get the
around
fear
and-
of everyone in the party with a particular place named the Temple of the Ravenous Moon, and it looking like it does. But can we at least go start the exploration?
Yeah, let's turn around and
Hmm.
yeah, go toward back there.
I don't like being afraid, and I like exploring, but this particular place has had many explorers, and they've all vanished. Even very
Have they?
powerful ones.
You know, other
Many
ones?
people have, yes, many people have been searching, exploring. We didn't know where it was, but yes, this is quite famous. Infamous.
Oh,
Better word.
did I know that?
It's been mentioned, yeah, by Vesh, like in the
Okay.
past, yeah.
Okay. So I thought it was some like Pathfinder weird shit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the Pathfinders ones who
Also-
sent the most expeditions, but, you know, they're like other explorers. I mean, most explorers
sure.
are kind of Pathfinders, so kind of, you know, is mainly their tales.
But we
Mm,
have
makes
the
sense.
moon on our side, don't we? Like
Not yet, we don't.
the weapon that we found.
The moon's actually changed since then out there. Now it has entered the waxing gibbous phase of the moon.
Oh god, what does that fucking do?
I think now it means the ghost touch is
Okay.
gone, and now it is the wounding moon.
Okay. Yeah.
Depending on what we find in there, yeah.
Oh god, I'm gonna have to go to this part to get to there, huh? Yep.
But okay,
So-
so you start to then head back in the direction.
I guess so.
Yeah,
You don't have to. I mean, I'm not force you to.
Nah.
Okay.
So what
I
type
want
of
to. I
moon is
want
it
as
now?
player. I don't want as a character. I
Wounding,
don't.
wounding.
Well, sorry, no, it's you said it's now a full or a gibbous moon?
Gibbous, now in the gibbous, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
so yeah,
written
it's
on the calendar widget.
What's that?
There's the calendar widget,
You
right?
can see that?
Yeah.
Why'd
on
you
the
never
left.
make notes for me on that, guys? Make some notes for me on that, please.
On what? What?
You can always make. Then I don't need to do notes.
There's
What?
like a time of year symbol and a moon symbol right next to it.
Oh, you want
Yeah.
notes on the calendar? Yeah. Okay.
Can you make notes on this out of interest? I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, not so. Oh no, there's a new note button.
My God, perfect. You should do that. I should probably use that rather than my shitty Google Doc note or whatever. Anyway,
Although I have like the small version of it. Oh,
oh, you only have the small version of it. Oh, but you can still make notes of it, right?
yeah, there's a.
If you
button
double click
that
it, it
one.
should make a big version actually. If you kind of
Yeah, but I like the small version.
fair. Me too. I didn't know it could be a small version, but now you pointed out it's pretty nice. Okay. Anyway, yes, you head back. You are heading towards the temple.
Yeah,
Yup. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get about, what's it called? I guess I would say, 20, no, not 20, 50 feet, from like the staircase that is kind of shown there. Yeah. You keep going forward? It seems all quiet and everything for now.
A dash for looking in my bag to see if I have anything to prepare more, but not really.
Okay, then I will put you on a map.
but
Yeah,
just
you're
put
gonna
us
be
on the
like,
map.
this map looks shit. I'm gonna be like, I'm
I
sorry.
remember, do we have all
guys."
the okay, yeah. Those who have ghost charges? I think maybe it's just me now, right? Did you use
I got the
one?
ghost talisman thing, but yeah.
Ghost talisman?
I'm gonna
thing?
check that all your vision looks okay.
Ghost Bane Fulu.
Yes.
Oh, right. Cthulhu.
So I didn't make it with the cool red and white, because that's
Oh, this
too
looks like
difficult to do.
shit.
Hey, that's not half bad, man. That's like,
This looks like garbage, Ian. What
I
the?
did like the geometry. Hey, I even put like a little bit of art at the bottom for you guys, so you can see
Yeah,
what it
no,
looks like.
But
I
I,
like
think
that,
that's
I
what
like
he
it.
was saying looked like shit. It's
Oh.
just the art itself. It's like that's our map.
Yeah,
No, I'm kidding.
my map. Yeah, imagine, there you go, there's your map. Look, you Crixel's at the top of the stairs. Crixel, slow down, okay?
I am the new Blood Lord.
No, so you can see the geometry of it. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you see it. You come up. Yeah. So you see these.
God.
Yeah, these stairs leading up at the front of you.
So we started here.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you want to, I said. I mean, you were starting however far away you wanted to start. You know.
Yeah, we started far away.
Yeah.
Okay.
You start where you.
Okay.
I think.
So we started here. What do we do, guys?
Oh,
we go here. Okay, I see.
Good work, Crixel.
Check
Good
for
work.
any signs of
Yeah, Crixel, you will stay back as you watch Crixel step on the first step. It will not explode under his foot, luckily.
Yeah.
And I thought you guys were right next to me. I'm like, ah, you're safe.
You look back to like 50 feet behind. Yeah, a bit further even. Yeah, I mean, people can start moving themselves on the map whenever they feel comfortable.
yeah, I'll have my
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm doing it. I just wanted to make sure I showed that I'm avoiding notice.
Yeah. Oh, just so you know, also for the height, it is how was it gonna be? It's like the top like level, so like the entrance to like the room at the top is like 50 feet up, and then that room's another like 15 feet or something like this.
Okay. Wait, this is 50 feet up?
No, the top.
No, to the very
Oh,
top.
okay, the one right.
Now you said that basically to the top floor, not the
Yeah,
roof
exactly.
of
Not
this
like
is
not the
50
roof, but the
feet
top
more.
floor is 50 feet up. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is like 20, 20, 10 kind of with the stairs.
Okay, I'll try and sneak up this way as I'll try to go the other way around.
I mean,
Move my token anymore.
are there any signs of, activity?
On these
Like-
steps, it's like much harder to see tracks, but it's like kind of like cool
Yeah.
stone or whatever. No, so you don't
Flesh
see any
blood
sign.
splattered around.
So what?
Flesh blood splattered around.
Blood
the-
splattered around. Give me a
the-
perception check as you
the
search.
light
Blends
the
right
areas.
in with the red.
I guess
thing.
Johnny's also searching, so I should give him a perception
Yeah.
check as well. You can give me one seek action.
Another.
My God, Johnny, you're so good. Yeah, you're looking around and you do see that in some places, yeah, you have this marble like with this red veins, but also in some places you do see like blood stains also in the floor that almost like in some places like blends in with the red veins of the stone. So it's kind of hard to see on first inspection, but when you look, you kind of like see some places where it's like almost faded and it's dried on.
Okay, dried on.
Yes,
better.
although not as old as the building looks.
Yeah,
Like, like the fact you even see blood still here implies, it isn't, hundreds and thousands of years old, right?
yeah.
Unless there's something else causing it to remain in this state.
Hmm.
Nature
What did you
seems
add
similar. You would realize.
Okay, so
There's
some,
some blood, boys.
Right.
Some blood.
yeah, there's the red blood, but can't really say how long has it been here. Well, probably not hundreds of years. Would have been washed away by the rains.
Nah, someone's doing something silly here.
Very low to the ground, it's like almost army crawling up the stairs.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
Oh yeah, but there's I think the same stairs. I'll let him go first.
you let him go. Yeah, it's like I'm not going that way.
Yeah, I'm moving closer. Right. Oh, there's splitting the party.
I'm looking at this thing over here.
Yeah, so that's like a
then,
like it's on the arch, like kind of like
Yep.
like it's something that sticks out, and then like it's like
Like a
hard
side
to go in.
entrance. Or,
It looks like a side entrance, yes.
I mean, do we try there?
This is a really just
Mm.
stupid thing, but this is where my brain's at. So you see how like some of the stones have like that slightly darker look
Mhm.
Yeah.
on this? I'm avoiding anything that has that.
Okay,
I know that may
okay.
not actually exist on the map,
Imagine.
but I personally am.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
some
so Altair
Legos
is trying
are
to sneak in that side.
It looks-
you know,
The pattern looks like a large multiple choice question there.
Yep.
Oh God, no!
Uh,
Not back to testing. No,
Oh no.
I've been on
So
school
many
for so long.
But I guess Johnny and I just hold until they come back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the I could test.
Hey, Altair, give me a stealth check.
No, Kidoki.
Okay, give me a perception check as well.
Can do that too.
Okay, so yeah, you're keeping very quiet. You know, the stone makes it quite easy. You're kind of picking steps that are kind of like more heavily with like kind of mossy undergrowth, so it's like muffling your footsteps. And when you get here, you begin to hear some words coming from like inside this sort of like side entrance. They are in a language you do not understand. It sounds a little similar to Jotun, actually, in a way, but certainly not the same. And not enough for you to really tell
is
the
it
words.
similar to what we heard in the Cyclopean area that
It-
one
it
time?
seems vaguely familiar, yes,
Yeah, I
yes.
think
Okay, okay.
It seems vaguely familiar, but yeah, you hear, and it almost sounds like a little bit from the words and like, oh, not the words, but from like the tonation, maybe a bit like kind of like prayers or something like this.
Okay.
Mm,
Not maybe enough to be like,
No,
you know,
it's-
magical words, like you can kind of tell something from
Right.
the energy of the voice, but more just like prayer or something similar.
Okay. And it's coming from inside the.
Yeah,
Entrance
kind of
here?
like coming out from
Inside
here,
the
exactly.
building.
Yeah.
Can I tell how far in, or is it weird echoey?
Fairly close, you think? Like, you know, do you
Oh.
think if you were like looking like in from that side, you'd probably better see the source?
Okay.
But like
I'm,
you're still a
I'm
little
gonna
bit
do some,
like out
peeking.
of her side.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, you try to like do a little peeking around the corner. Okay, then I am going to move your token somewhere else.
Oh,
Second.
yeah.
Oh, I really hope. Shut your eyes for 1 second, just in case the control V's you in the wrong place. Shut your eyes, Josh. 1 second. 1 second. Shut your eyes. Shut your eyes.
So hands up.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Hands up. No, okay, you can open your eyes now. I did it. So you should. Do you have like a weird thing where you see 2 of your tokens now?
Nope.
But you don't. If you move to the right, like move the map to the right.
Oh, so yeah, I can still kind of see like the. Yeah, no, I can only see this token here.
You can't see the one on the right, on the left anymore.
No,
That's
I no
funny.
longer can see anything over here.
That's funny, but you still have a
It's weird
token
because I
over
can
there.
kind of see like
Even
like
level?
the fog of war versus
Yeah,
the
yeah,
map,
yeah.
so where
That's
I should
weird.
be.
If you like
somewhere
press
over here.
escape, so you're not selecting a specific token.
No.
No, still not. Okay, that's funny.
I could try to reload application, but
No,
that's
no,
all it
it's fine,
does,
it's fine,
and
I
it
can
closed
just,
my character sheet. Thanks for that.
No, press escape one more time.
Um,
Press escape one more time after you close the character sheet.
Yeah, now it just gives me the reload application log
What?
out.
It's so weird. It doesn't show you both. Anyway, okay, you are over there. I will
Fine with
kind of move you a little bit so you're like peeking.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So is this
shit.
the entrancey thing? Then you're
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. I kind of it's the way I kind of is shown here. When it does have this kind of also
yeah,
kind of
some
like
kind
on
of
the
fog
map.
of war because it's completely black line, solid line.
Oh wait, let me. Is it blocking? It should be blocking line.
Yeah.
Let me check.
There's definitely something there that's blocking it. It's funny.
Oh,
'cause
it's
I can
got a
take-
light proximity. Okay, 1 second. Let me turn that off. Okay.
Okay.
You're about to see
Yeah,
something.
because like I can see like the tiniest little corner here. Okay,
you
is
see
it only like a
stuff.
5-foot opening?
No, it isn't. I made 2 bits of wood. All right, 1 sec. Oh,
Yeah,
there's,
'cause I can see
the
now,
walls are really
um,
awkward. Okay.
I can see
Not better?
like.
Oh no,
Okay,
I got to
can
do it again. 1 second. Sorry.
I can't. Why can't
It's
I
like
do like?
it's
is
3
it
little
all
bits
the-
of wool instead of 1.
Oh, yep, yeah.
There you
That's
go,
what I
there you go.
thought. Oh, that's.
Yeah, you
I don't
see
like that
the
one.
edge of like some sort of strange, like kind of blood on the
Yeah,
ground, like in some
yeah,
sort of shape. Yeah. And
It
yeah, now
looks
it's
semicircular, if I might be honest,
Yeah, yeah.
and semi-circular, not semicircular. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Thank you. That's my bad shape joke of the day.
If you want, you can move your token like a little bit by bit. Like you don't have to. Do
Well, it's
full
funny because
squares.
I can't. I'm
You
trying.
can't? Is you do shift if you hold shift and then move it?
Is it shift to do it?
I think
Oh,
so.
let me try that.
To do like half movements.
Oh.
That's shift, isn't it, guys?
Oh, yep, you're right. It is. Okay, it's just really weird because you have to grab the token first. Oh, yep, I can just start to see an outline of another token. It looks like.
Yes, as you like peek around, so you're kind of like sticking your head around. You see one of these creatures that seem to be doing this sort of like a prayer, this like words, and they're like standing inside this circle. It looks like this. You can't see too much of the face, you know, but you can.
Yeah.
enough to
Well,
make it out.
I can see its eyes and mouth.
Yeah,
Oh.
but it's got it back to you actually right now. It's facing kind of.
Is this? Am I the only one who's able to see this right now? By the way,
Yes.
or is the whole part? Okay.
Oh, you can see the
got
art,
a
but you're the only
purple-
one who can like
Oh,
see
yeah.
the
Yeah.
creature. So yeah.
That's what I was wondering if they could see it or if I had to like.
It's-
try to
They
describe
could see it. They can
to-
see it.
Dude, it's a
character.
Skeksis from the Dark Crystal.
A little
Yeah,
bit, yeah.
it is quite small. It is like a small creature. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And is it the one making the sounds?
It is making a sound, but it sounds like there's actually more than one voice.
Okay. Yep. So I
And
will
you can only see this one from where you are.
slowly back out
Okay, yeah.
to go
You
let the
very
group
quietly
know, basically.
head back the other way. Okay. And then I'll see if I remove your token here, if it makes your other one reappear. Let me check.
Sure.
Oop. Does it?
Yep, I'm back now.
Okay, interesting.
How much longer can we do?
Yeah, I assume we're gonna stop pretty much like 7:30, just so you also wouldn't too much rush, Josh. But if you can do like another 10 minutes, we can also do that. I don't know, it's up to you.
Yeah, I can do 10 more minutes.
Sure,
That's
we
fine.
can do,
Cool.
we can do that. Yeah.
Basically, I seem to have like
If
less
there's
to
a
have
part where like it
a
looks
quarter
like something
to.
happened, sure. If there's like a point which is like fights that happen, obviously we'll choose that as a good stopping point. But
Why would it?
why would it exactly?
So what you're
Okay,
saying
so
is
yeah.
don't Leroy Jenkins right now. Got it.
Well, then we just end right now. That's fine.
Well, at least we got chicken.
Wait, are you the chicken?
It's just wait a minute. Yeah.
Sneak back
Okay, so they
over
come
and-
back.
I kind of like gesture,
Hmm.
do the quiet thing, and just kind of fill everyone in on the. There's a fucking like undead alligator looking thing with its nuts hanging out, and they're chanting, and there's a couple of them, and.
What?
Yeah, and there's like a blood circle on the floor. It's not good news.
Captain, I have no idea what to do with this information. Please make a
Um,
decision.
They didn't look like more Vesh, did they?
I mean, there was very little resemblance.
Very little. Even how much you know.
What
It has
about
to be maybe so
the
not-
spot on
Like
the
it was like
floor?
a skull, almost like for a head, like not an actual like skin.
What about the blotches on the floor?
Yeah, I couldn't make it out to anything specific, but it did sound like they maybe were speaking Cyclopean.
Uh,
It sounds like
don't
maybe a
speak
kind of a
Cyclopean, right?
somewhat connected language to Jotun, which I can speak, but I couldn't quite understand it.
They were lizards.
I
Crocodiles.
mean,
Kind of.
we could check the main entrance, but
Right. I worry about. Do we take maybe a floor by floor approach, and we start at the lowest floor here,
yeah,
and then we go up? Because if we go up
Yeah,
and then they hear
definitely.
us, then do we get sandwiched from
Yeah,
both directions?
you're right. You're right.
We clear them out
They-
systematically.
They sound scary, but if we
Right.
manage to capture one,
I mean, they're a
Answers.
little small. They're like your size.
are we? I'm not that much smaller, am I?
Aren't you like 5 foot?
Kind of like arch up. Yeah, I'm a little like I'm definitely like 5.5 or something.
How tall were they roughly, or the one that I saw at least?
Oh, they're smaller. They're like
Oh, okay,
maybe
yeah.
4 foot or something.
Okay, yeah. So I'm like, yeah, like right at your size. You're like what,
Yeah.
4'3"? Yes.
Big bones.
So you think we can take those on, right? The creature
mean,
that you saw.
I hope so. But if they are like, it sounds more like a prayer, not like a ritual necessarily. But again, I can't understand the language, so it's hard to say.
And
Hmm.
they didn't look very like friendly, right?
I mean,
I mean,
I
Did-
don't,
did you
I
hear
don't
him
want
talk?
to judge based on appearance alone, but no, they didn't look friendly to me.
yeah, didn't look like someone you could.
I would
talk
love to be proven
and-
wrong about that, and this could be a learning opportunity for me to grow as a
Yeah.
person. But I kind of doubt it.
Okay.
We could pretend to also worship here.
Do any of you speak the language? Because I think that would be a dead giveaway.
Religion transcends language.
Except when
I
it
don't-
doesn't.
I don't so unless
You've clearly
Johnny
never been to
has,
American religions.
Johnny had some something up his sleeve to try to enlist magic to help us. Then
Yeah, I do worry that they might be some form of casters. So Johnny,
Yeah.
can you nullify that? Oh, that might actually be a really good opportunity for you to like do the water thing and get them stuck.
all ready for that.
But I think we can
Not
take
another,
them.
not another underwater fight. No, no,
But-
no.
John is involved. Every fight's an underwater fight.
I gotta send you
Right.
underwater places so we can't have
That's
more
the
water.
style.
I mean, I can only do it
Pump
in one
water
spot per
inside.
day.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fun.
So if we
water.
find a good spot to get as many as
Yeah, yeah.
But
Can't we just pump water inside the temple and flush out the bad guys and
I would
everyone?
imagine
I
that
don't think we
after
can get enough
potentially
water.
hundreds of years of rain, we couldn't do enough water to do that.
if
kind
we
of
take a funnel towards the sea and empty the sea, we can.
That's the temple.
Okay, but considering the fight, I think we can. We are strong, but not silent. In a fight, we will make noise and
Mhm.
alert others that are praying.
Right. So we only
Yeah.
know of what's there. There's a chance there might be others. So
Yeah.
plan on it not
mean,
being
we-
just this group.
Yes. Do you not think we could head up? Find another way that does
mean-
not have creatures?
I
There's-
mean, I have a feeling that there will be creatures throughout. So then it's more of if we can't take them out silently, take them out where there's the best chance of success and not being surrounded.
Yeah.
Also, the one interesting thing about the top floor is like when you're like flying low to see it, right? It is very small. So like
Mhm,
that is
true.
like much smaller in terms of like how much would be up there. It is
Yeah,
like
that's true.
what's it called, a 5 by something. So building.
It's probably like an inverted pyramid underground. You know,
While we
there's,
have the chance. And surprise. Why not go
similar-
all the way up?
I mean,
I mean-
we can look up there. I'd be
I mean,
fine.
yeah, we could also just go
Maybe-
top and down the
Yeah,
bottom.
maybe Voltaire checks there also.
Sure.
Cool. Okay.
Go ever so slowly now. I'm kind of peeking my head up above the stairs to look in because it's right in front, right? Is where the entrance is.
Yes, exactly. Okay, yes. You sorry, yeah. So you peek up there and you peek into this thing. I can give you another map. I can control C you again, control view. So you would technically be down here. You see?
Oh,
So
good
yeah,
job.
you see this
Not
is just like
ominous at all.
this is
Ian.
like sort of one one room itself, and you see it's like covered in like carvings, sort of like scratch all over the walls. Like this again, like you remember this like this white marble with these red things in this like boring grey. And a lot of these carvings depict like they're a little bit too far to see much in too detail, but it does look like happy times, I'll put it that way. And maybe if you get a little bit closer you can decipher a little bit more out of them. And you see in the back of the room there's basically this like big slab of like white marble, like covered with these like old blood stains.
Yeah.
And in front of it is which there's this it's not like raised up like this, but you can just it's kind of hard for you to see until you get to your feet at this space. It's almost like just like this hole in the ground.
Query. Does it
Yes.
look like this is maybe a spot where you would lay someone down with their head over the hole and then you chop their head off and the head would fall in the hole type of a situation?
It could certainly be used for that. I mean, the hole's pretty
Hmm.
big. You could also fit in more than a head down there if you wanted to.
Oh, okay, yeah. So maybe like we sacrifice to the god and then we feed the god type of a thing.
Could be something like this, yeah.
Okay. None of the options I can come up with are things that Altera wants to deal with. Right now.
You're like, that's much better now.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, this is just we prepare meals here and then that's the garbage disposal. It's probably not that.
Yeah. It could be that. It could be this is just the butcher's home, whatever.
All right. And what do you say? Like you said, if I got closer and I got a step closer, I would see.
Oh, sorry.
the
Like, yeah. So now you've been close. It's a little bit easier to see. Yeah, you can. You
markings
can, no,
on
I
the
won't
wall
give you
and
really
stuff.
exception. Yeah, it says some markings. On all sides as well, so you can't see like in that detail. But
Yeah,
you
of
see
course.
to begin with, like kind of again the back, like almost at, like where the head of this, if it was a bed, would be right. You see the main carving kind of like set upon it, to everything is centered around. It's this kind of like grinning, like befanged moon. So like this kind of moon that you see in space that has almost like a face inside it with these like teeth that are like like
Not quite the
really
moon
sharp
from
and
Moulin
fanged.
Rouge.
Not quite, no. And you know, it had kind of this is like sentences about it, and then like in other things like below it, you see all of these kind of like almost like scenes of like devastation, like you know, like lots of little figures, like you know, kind of like you know, either like maybe in mass sacrifice or things like this. How long do you spend up here? Like kind of like look. I mean, there's like it's covered with these scenes, right? So there's a
Yeah.
few more you can look.
So I'm
at.
just
I'm
kind of
sure if you
looking in
do
for a
like
little, but I'm actually trying to
quick
hear
glance.
if like, do I imagine that this hole goes straight down because it would probably
Okay.
go over the room that I saw the creatures in, right?
It would go very close to that room. Yes, you would
Okay.
imagine.
Do I hear anything coming
give me a
from the
perception
hole?
check.
Yeah.
Okay, no, so it's you know it's quite. I mean, you kind of have like you know you have a very good sense here. You're trying to listen. You in a way think you can almost make it out, but you think it's almost unlikely to be coming just actually from like the entrance to the east, right? Which also isn't a million
Gotcha.
miles away. It doesn't seem
Sure.
you don't seem to be able to hear anything coming out from the
Okay.
hall itself.
Any sense of movement or anything within the room?
No, nothing you can see.
What about now?
Nope.
Okay.
You hear something
Hmm.
behind you.
Yeah, so you see like out here, like before like one who's gonna walk up behind him and go boo, like scare the shit out of him.
It's a rattle of bones.
But yeah.
Okay.
Do one last step, but not actually put any of my body parts or head into
Yeah,
the
yeah,
room.
yeah, yeah. No worries, no worries. Yeah, you stay there, and yeah, you would still see no signs of movement, just
Okay.
like this hobble, you know, just side in front of you, and you see here that the carvings like continue all around on like both sides, like and also like you almost like maybe well, you actually can't peek around and see on the side facing like back here, but that would involve sticking your head in. But on all the sides, it is the scenes
This is
as you look
definitely
at
not something Altair would do, but the chaotic part of Josh definitely wants to like throw a rock in the hole.
it,
I won't.
it's like
But-
the
Fool,
only
so-
other thing is, yeah, now you're a little bit closer. You can kind of see more signs, like the carvings around. You see as well as like you know, just like moon at the one side and like all these other scenes of like mass sacrifices. You see on the walls in other places, for instance, on the left, you see almost like a sign of like to you, I guess it would almost like a scene of like an apocalypse. You see like almost like it looks like you know some sort of like people, you know, just like kind of crudely represented, and then almost like fire raining down upon them and like you know through and then almost looks and actually when you see it it almost looks like some sort of fire and then like almost like a big thing from like the sky like falling atop of them.
Okay. So this looks like some kind of doomsday prophecy type of a thing.
Give me a man, there's no history in this game actually, right? What do you think?
Yeah, that
Give me
it's
a
like society,
society,
maybe
I guess. Give me a
religion,
society.
maybe, if it's a
Yeah.
The
religious thing.
cipher.
I think this would be
code.
society actually.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, Jack. Maybe it would also be the cipher writing. Let me try to work.
I think that's
With
society
database.
anyway.
I think the society anyway, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, based on like this and like as you see it, you actually think it could be yeah potentially some sort of like cataclysmic for sure like event. If you
Yeah.
had seen a cataclysmic event, you'd actually think this almost represents Earthfall, which was this cataclysmic event that
Yeah,
happened.
as I
in
figured, it's
Galaria,
one of the
actually,
two, right? It's either we're looking back, or is it a prophecy of the future type of a
And
situation.
indeed, you're not sure how old this place was. So for all you knew, maybe this was indeed a future thing for them. But for you, this is indeed, you think, a sign of a cataclysmic event that happened in the past. It almost looks to you like a depiction
Earthfall,
of
whatever,
Earthfall.
Starfall,
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
exactly. Earthfall, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
And
a-
there's and yeah, that's like and that's kind of like, you know, depicted in some ways along like the left of like the wall. Yeah. But you decide, you know, there's too much of this to be seen and you quickly back off a little bit.
when I just kind of report, here's what I found up there. So, not much to do here
Hmm.
besides go down the creepy dark hole.
Yeah. There was, you know, so you think like, you know, if you spend time, like, you know, you wouldn't probably want to do
Right,
it, but
you
if
can
you
learn
like
a lot
deciphered
more.
writing, you could actually learn a lot up here. There's probably a
Right,
lot of
right.
interesting things.
But
Oh,
no way for us.
oh, what I think. Maybe the safest way to enter would be to just charge the things that you saw.
Hmm.
Try to get rid of them.
I mean, if someone's feeling really adventurous, you could try to like go down the hole because I think they might meet.
Yeah, but you don't know what's down the hole and
Nope.
like I guess what you'd lower a rope down there and then go down.
Yeah. Now that I'm hearing it out loud, sounds like a bad idea.
That does not sound great. No.
Sounds like
I was-
something more Vesh would do. Oh,
Yeah, I'll be,
You gotta think
Beat
like
his tail
him.
and broke his
Yeah.
ankles. He's fine.
I'll be dangling like a bait for a fish.
I mean, we do
Yeah,
have
what-
these like the little things, right? The pins that are the.
mhm.
Seems like a waste to use it here, but you never know. But no, I,
mean-
I think we go the other way.
If you have something to use.
And by the way, I gotta get going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Boy,
So we prepare.
You think you're gonna head the other way?
We
Yes,
go
excellent.
fuck him up.
You're gonna go
And
fuck him
we're
up.
obviously gonna fuck him up, so you might as well give us the level.
I'll just delete them from the map. Don't worry about it.
yeah.
No, you can leave them, but just give us the level up.
Oh, what are you talking about? I think the leveled up if you manage to find out what happened to more Vesh/save him. You know?
Damn
Mm,
All right,
Welcome there.
good stuff, everyone. I'm glad. Yeah, we accomplished a good amount. Definitely worth.
Yeah.
Playing. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, and yeah, hopefully
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
see you next week. See you.
Later, boys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.